So what did you do? You visualize it, you see it. What did you do, if anything?
I ended up, I seen it as I'm driving by. I turned my car around, pulled into the driveway, took a little better look at it from inside my car, snapped a couple photos of it with my cell phone, snapped a photo of the address of the house, and then I proceeded back to the command center.
All right, I'm going to mark a couple of exhibits and show you a couple of photographs and ask if you recognize these. These are going to be people's proposed 14 and 15. This is 14, and this is 15. Showing you 14 and 15. You can look at the back for your own. Do you recognize what I've showed you?
Yes, I do.
And describe first what number 15 is. The back, so you're talking about the right one.
15 is a photo of the dirt bike that I took that day with my cell phone, parked next to a yellow Ford Mustang.
And what is the next photo, please?
It's the same dirt bike. I took the same photo, and it's just a zoomed-in photo of 14. Or 15, I'm sorry. 14 is a zoomed-in photo of 15.
You know, I marked them right. I should have put 14 and 15 the other way, but we have what we have. So, Judge, I'm going to move at this point then to admit...
Okay, let me just, for my records, 15 is the zoom-in photo and 14 is the regular?
14 is zoomed in, 15 is zoomed out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any objection to admitting?
No objection.
Thank you.
Very good.
Could you put up number 15, please, which is the zoomed out photograph? That's a photograph that you took?
Yes.
This is July 25th, is that correct?
July 25th, correct.
The day after the night when April was found?
Yes.
Do you know about what time of day this was?
Yes, I believe it was right around 5:45 p.m.
And then could we display this just to show the closer up? This is 14. That's just a closer up picture of the motorcycle?
Correct.
Now, the fact that you saw that bike, did you have any particular tip that led you to that bike, that motorcycle, that particular one?
That specific one at that location?
Yes.
No.
Did you have a tip, or were you acting on a tip about a bike similar to that?
Acting on a tip of a bike similar to that.
A similar description, I guess I'll use that word.
Correct.
So you gathered that information, you took the address. Did you make any contact with anybody at that house?
Not at that moment.
What did you do next?
I went back to the command center, briefed the OIC that was at the command center, a couple other detectives that were there at the time. Looking at the bike, I'm not a dirt bike person per se. I wanted to see if this was in fact the type of bike that the tip was speaking about, the on-road, off-road style bike, possibly. It was, and so at that point we made a determination to go back out there, make contact with the homeowner, and gather some more information about the bike.
Is this still on the same date, the 25th?
Yes.
So you go back into the command post, look what I found, show pictures, and then discussion, and the decision is made to go back out.
Correct.
Who went back out with you?
I went out with Trooper Derek Hoffman.
The two of you?
Yep.
Did you make contact with somebody at that house?
Yes, we did.
Was the motorcycle, that bike, was it there?
No.
Do you recall who it was you spoke with at that location?
Yes.
Who?
James Muse.
James Muse.
Yes. M-U-S-E.
And did you inquire about the motorcycle?
I did.
Did you gain and gather some information about the motorcycle?
I did.
Did you gather owner information?
I did.
But again, to be clear, by the time you got back, it's gone.
The bike was gone. Correct.
So based on the information you gathered, did you take any further step? After talking to Mr. Muse, what did you do next?
Took the information he gave us, which was general information, a name, location, a person, not address, but you know, a town that he lives in and different things. Took that information, went back, worked on some databases, pulling up that information through our lien, and located who we believed was the owner of the bike based on the information that was provided.
All right, was that name that you came up with consistent or not with the name that was given to you by Mr. Muse?
It was consistent.
All right, so did you go out to where you thought the bike would be?
We did.
Who's we?
Myself, well, we once we got that information, relayed that information, had another briefing at the command center,
Okay.
Determined we want to go out to that house at that time, even though it was late, it was 11:30 at night, and make contact with that person. So myself, Detectives Van Single and Trooper Derek Hoffman went out to the house on Marquette.
Let me ask you something. Why not wait till the next day?
Because you got to, there's a lot of tips coming in. This is information that we felt was important. It was a tip that came in on a bike that I felt at the time matched, and you know, it's not something, someone's dead, it's not something you want to wait on.
Didn't just decide to go to bed and start the next day?
No.
So you go out there at about 11:30 at night?
Correct.
Yourself? Who else?
Detective Van Single
Okay.
and Trooper Derek Hoffman.
So Trooper Derek Hoffman was the same person who went with you to the Muse residence?
He was, and he came with us. He was in uniform. It was later at night.
Okay.
Anytime we had contact, like to have a uniform with us.
So did you go, where did you go?
We went to the Marquette address.
And is that an address in St. Clair County?
Yes.
Is that in Goodalls, Michigan?
Yes.
So when you say Marquette, it's a street
Correct.
address, something Marquette in Goodalls, Michigan?
Yes.
Okay. Describe what happened when you got there.
Went to the front door, knocked on the door. An older gentleman answered. I asked to speak to James VanCallis. He said he was James VanCallis. I asked him if there was another James VanCallis, maybe a son. He said there was. I asked him if I could talk to him. He yelled in the house for James VanCallis, or James, however he called him. At that time, the defendant came to the door. He ended up coming out on the porch. The original James VanCallis answered the door. It was determined later that's his father. He also came out on the porch, as well as a female came out on the porch.
The person, not the person who answered the door, but the person who came out in response to asking for James, the other James VanCallis, did that person, do you see that person in the courtroom?
I do.
So you do recognize that person?
Yes, I do.
Where is that person?
You see the defense counsel end seat wearing a black dress shirt and a gold multicolored tie.
Yeah, the record reflects he's identified the defendant.
It's shown.
Thank you. So the defendant's out there. Did you indicate the first gentleman, Mr. VanCallis, he was out there?
Yes, his father.
And you indicated a woman came out?
Yes.
At that point, you knew there were two individuals named James VanCallis, and you later determined one was father and one was son. Did you know that night who the other woman was? Do you know who that was?
No.
Did you ask a name?
I didn't ask a name. I assumed who it was.
But you didn't know?
No, I did not know.
So you, based on the way people were behaving and talking, you made some assumptions.
Correct.
Okay. Did you interview the woman that night?
No.
What did you do?
I asked the defendant some questions.
What did you ask him?
I asked him, I told him we were doing an investigation in Armada. Asked him, there was some information that he was in Armada the day before.
Did you tell him the nature of the investigation? I mean, there's disorderly conduct and, you know, fireworks people, and then there's...
It came out. I don't know if I told him right at that moment, but I know it had already been on the news. So it was talked about, yes, that this was the homicide investigation that happened in Armada.
All right. So what did you ask him?
I asked him if he was in Armada the day before.
And what did he say?
He said he was.
Did he tell you anything else? Did you ask anything else, or he tell you anything else about his whereabouts in Armada?
He did. I did, and he did. I asked him if he can tell me what went on when he went through Armada, kind of give me a rough timeline of what he was doing there. At that point, he proceeded to tell me that he left his house around 5 o'clock or so that evening. This would be on the 24th. He drove in towards Armada. He was heading over to his brother Donnie's house, who lives outside of Armada. He said he stopped by James Muse, a friend of his house, pulled by or slowed down, stopped in the driveway, didn't see James, so he didn't stop.
This is James Muse he's referring to?
Yes, James
Okay.
Muse on Armada Ridge. He said he then continued into Armada and stopped at a Marathon gas station there in the center of town.
Did he tell you why he stopped?
I had 2 different interviews with him. At one point, I don't recall if it was the first one, but he did mention he had stopped there to take a break because of the seat on his bike is uncomfortable and his butt started to hurt from riding the bike.
So he told you he went to the marathon.
Yes.
Again, where's the marathon located?
It's
Is it in Armada?
it's right downtown Armada, just east of the light in Armada.
Several blocks from the Macomb Orchard Trail?
Yes, it's to the north of the, if you went straight south down that side street, you would run right into the trail.
Was he giving you any general time frames that he was in Armada at the marathon?
Just the time at that point, just the time that he left his house, which was around 5 o'clock, 5:30, that he left his house to head towards Armada. He said he had stopped at the marathon. He then continued, tried to get a hold of his brother, then continued outside of Armada, on the west side of Armada, to his brother Donnie's house, but his brother Donnie wasn't home. He said he then continued to Tim Hortons in Romeo to see if his brother had stopped there. He drove through the lot at Tim Hortons in Romeo, didn't see his brother, and then continued back towards his brother's house again to where he found his brother at home.
To the best of your recollection, in that time you talked to him, did he give you any times that he got to his brother's?
No, I don't think he gave me a time that he arrived at his brother's.
Okay. Was there any other purpose in you going there that night aside from asking him these questions? Did you look at any items? Did you ask to see any items?
Oh, I did.
And what did you ask for and why?
After he gave a kind of his timeline of where he was and everything, I asked him what he was wearing, to which he gave me a full description of what he was wearing.
Okay. By the way, we'll pick up at the full description of what he was wearing, but I kind of left you off and jumped to the next topic. He's told you he went to his brother's house and eventually met up with his brother at his brother's house, correct?
Correct.
And that was Donald VanCallis?
Donald VanCallis, yes.
He gave you that name?
Yeah, I think he said Donald. I know he said Donnie at one point, but he might have told me Donald as well.
Donnie or Donald.
Correct. Yep.
And did he tell you then that he'd left Donnie's house at any point?
He said he stayed there for a little while, an hour or so, and that he left. I don't think he gave me a time that he left, other than he said he left before dark. And if I remember right, he said he wanted to get going before dark because he's worried about the deer. With riding his dirt bike, he's worried about the deer coming across the road.
Okay. So now he's taken himself back home. Did he indicate whether or not he went out again that night at all?
Nope, he told me once he got home that night, he stayed in. He didn't go back out at all.
Did he tell you any other location other than the ones you've indicated? Going to the Marathon gas station, going by Mr. Muse's house, going by the Tim Hortons where he didn't locate his brother, and then ultimately going back to his brother's house, or going to his brother's house?
No other locations.
Did you ask to see any items? You indicated a description of his clothing, is that right?
Correct.
What did he tell you?
He told me that he was driving his dirt bike. He had his black helmet on, a Carhartt hoodie sweatshirt, camouflage pants, and K-Swiss tennis shoes.
Did you ask to see the motorcycle?
I did.
And did you in fact see it?
Yes.
Did you ask to see the helmet?
I did.
Did you in fact see it?
Yes, I did.
And he indicated to you that he was wearing some K-Swiss shoes,
Correct.
and did he show you those?
Yes, he did.
I'm going to mark some proposed exhibits. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. No
Okay.
objection.
You want them admitted?
Yes, please.
They're admitted?
Thank you. Can you see the screen from where you are?
I can turn, yeah.
Or you can stand up next to it if that helps you. Since they're admitted, I'm just going to display them. First, 16. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes.
What is that?
That is his bike that he directed us to on the side of the house that evening. Said that was the bike he was riding the day before in Armada.
So that picture is taken at like 11:30 at night.
11:30, almost 12 o'clock, correct.
17. What is that?
That would be the helmet he provided to us. Said that was the helmet he had been wearing the night before.
Do you know whose hand that was?
I believe that was either mine or that was Trooper Derek Hoffman, because Detective Van Single took the actual photo.
All right. This is going to be 18. What is that?
That's just another angle of the helmet, sitting on a chair on the front porch there where we were talking.
Sir, please feel free to get up if you need to.
Yeah, you're leaning way
Thanks,
over.
Your Honor.
Stand up, go ahead. 19. What is that?
Kind of blurry picture of the shoes that
Okay.
he showed us he was wearing.
Are those K-Swiss shoes?
Those are.
All right, did you also take another picture of those shoes, or
Yes.
have another picture taken?
Yeah, we flipped them over and took a picture of the bottoms.
And why did
soles.
you, why?
Because that's relevant to the case.
Very general terms, I'm not asking you to be an expert, but why did you think that was relevant to the case? Take a picture of the bottom of the shoes.
There had been photos of tread patterns that were taken at the autopsy and at the crime scene on the victim.
So you saw fit to take a picture of the bottom of the shoes that night at 11:30?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to show you now. If you saw that motorcycle helmet again itself, would you recognize that?
Yes, I would.
I know. This is the 21 helmet.
Mr. Daly, did I miss 20? Did you say that's 21?
Did I miss 20? I thought
No, that's 20. 20 is the photo of the bottom of the shoes, so that's 21.
that's what I have it marked. I've shown this to defense counsel. I'm going to ask you to take a look at that, and if you would, tell me if you recognize that.
Yep. This would be the helmet that he provided that evening when asked what he was wearing the day before.
All right, I'm moving to admit 21.
No objection, Your Honor.
21 is the... And just for the record, that it is the actual helmet.
That's the actual helmet, Your Honor.